Hello everyone, today I'm at the Royal Tyrrell Museum in Drumheller, Alberta to check out some dinosaurs and more, so let's explore! The Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology in Drumheller is located in the Midland Provincial Park in the middle of the Badlands. It houses 160,000 catalog fossils with about 800 of those on display, and has held 5 Guinness World Records. The museum is named after Joseph Burr Tyrrell, a Canadian geologist, cartographer, and mining consultant who discovered the Albertosaurus around Drumheller in 1884, and the museum was given its royal designation by Queen Elizabeth II. And stepping into the gallery, you get a stunning view of a family of Albertosaurus in the Cretaceous Alberta exhibit, where it shows you what life would have been like in Alberta 69 million years ago. The Albertosaurus lived in western North America during the late Cretaceous period about 71 million years ago, around the area that is today the Canadian province of Alberta. Albertosaurus was a theropod dinosaur that had 2 very small arms with 2 fingers, a massive head with dozens of large sharp teeth similar to a Tyrannosaurus rex. However, it was smaller than a Tyrannosaurus rex, only growing to about 30 feet in length and weighing up to about 2.5 metric tons. Exploring further into the museum, the Foundations Gallery introduces the visitor to the ideas and principles of paleontology, and provides an understanding of the development of life on Earth, geology, and fossilization. Visitors can explore the science of evolution and see how biological changes occur during generations of a species, and see transitional fossils that bridge the anatomical gap between major groups of organisms. The Fossils in Focus exhibit showcases a rotating selection of fossils from the museum's vast collection, such as these odd arthropod creatures that unfortunately died during a drought. Each of the specimens on display are unique and stunning, like this bony skull of a Pachycephalosaurus, which might be my next project, wink wink, now judge. Like these carnivore skulls, like the Carnotaurus here and Albertosaurus on the left. One very visually stunning specimen is this one here, a juvenile Gorgosaurus, which is a rare example of a skeleton that was found all in one piece, with the bones arranged still in their correct order. And it's been displayed just as it's been found. And it's a great example of how dinosaurs are naturally found, because that's how they decay. Basically, the muscles pull back, causing that arch in the back. One of the highlights of the museum is this well-preserved T.rex fossil known as Black Beauty. The nickname comes from the shiny dark color of the fossil bones, which is due to the type of minerals present in the surrounding rocks. This specimen was found in 1980 by a high school student, while on a fishing trip at the Crow's Nest Pass in the region of Alberta. Replicas of the Black Beauty have been shown in exhibits and museums around the world, but the original fossil is right here at the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology, and is personally probably one of my favorite actual exhibits at this museum, so I'm very glad that was the catch that didn't get away. Most of the fossils on display are found right here in the Badlands of Alberta, which is known as a hotspot for fossils, especially those from around the 80 to 55 million years ago range. Because of its unique location near fossil-rich Badlands, the museum also functions as a research facility, and visitors can watch as fossils are prepared for research and display. The Badlands environments outside the museum provide a natural laboratory for paleontologists by exposing layers of sedimentary rocks, which demonstrates changes in climate, plants, and animals over time. During the summer months, the museum's technicians work in the field with paleontologists, prospecting for and collecting fossils, which are then transported back to the museum, where the technicians remove the surrounding rock to expose the fossil for research. Another interesting exhibit is called Grounds for Discovery, which showcases some incredible fossil specimens which have been uncovered by industrial activities taking place in Alberta. Alberta has a unique legislation which ensures that fossils indicated during any types of industrial activities are identified and preserved, such as this amazing Mosasaurus. Each year, thousands of cubic meters of soil, gravel, and bedrock are excavated throughout the province. And when a fossil is uncovered, paleontologists are able to work closely with the companies to excavate and preserve scientifically important specimens. The museum has a close relationship with energy giants like Suncor and Syncrude, and have led to some pretty fascinating discoveries, such as this Boreal Apelta, which was discovered in a mine and is one of the world's best preserved armored dinosaurs next to Zool. No, and I'm not talking about Ghostbusters, you fool. Anyway, this specimen was found near Fort McMurray in 2011, and is personally probably one of my favorite exhibits because, wow, this thing is basically staring right back at you. I also thought this little plesiosaur here was really cool and very well preserved. There's also this little footprint display, which I thought was kind of interesting as well. It kind of shows you what the footprint pattern is. I also personally thought this plesiosaur hand, or flipper, was really cool. Seeing the way the bones are orchestrated so tightly together was very interesting. Heading forward, the museum explores different geological eras, typically separated by massive extinction events. The Precambrian era, which stretched from 4.6 billion to 541 million years ago, making up to 80% of Earth's history. But during that time, life consisted of only simple single-cell organisms. During the Paleozoic Era, from 541 to 252 million years ago, life began to flourish starting in the seas. Invertebrates, which originated in marine waters, began to diversify greatly and resulted in some very interesting creatures, such as the Dunkleosculus, which was an armored placoderm, and the largest predator to live in the water at that time. Some of the specimens of Dunkleosculus were up to 10 meters long. That's a big fishy. And they are well known for having those big, giant, bone-crushing jaws. Eventually, plants and animals began to migrate from the seas to habitat the dry land, and communities of plants and animals began to cover the planet. Now, I personally found these fossils a little suspicious. And one of those first top predators to first walk on land was known as the Dimetrodon, which was a reptile synapsid that lived during the Paleozoic Era, and it is often mistaken as a dinosaur. And just to flex my dinosaur nerd muscle a little bit here, the Dimetrodon is technically closer related to you than it is dinosaurs. This is due to their skull shape. The Dimetrodon has a synapsid skull, whereas dinosaurs have a diapsid. However, around 252 million years ago, a massive extinction event known as the Great Dying, wiping out 90% of life on Earth, marking the Mesozoic Era. But before we move on, let's admire this fossil, known as the Triassic Giant. These are the remains of the world's largest marine reptile, known as Zonosaurus signethus, and was discovered in British Columbia in 1990. Stretching a massive 21 meters long, this creature is about 30% larger than its closest living relative. And now finally we enter the museum's Dinosaur Hall, which highlights creatures from the Mesozoic Era, known as the Age of Reptiles. During this era, dinosaurs ruled the Earth, becoming the dominant animals in their ecosystems. The word dinosaur was coined in 1842, and was used to describe the first dinosaur fossils found in England. It comes from the Greek word dinos, meaning terrible, and the word sauros, meaning lizard. However, we now know dinosaurs aren't lizards at all, and are more closely related to crocodiles and birds, which are all related to the Archosaura family. The Royal Tyrrell Museum's Dinosaur Hall houses one of the world's largest collections of dinosaurs on display, with more than 40 mounted skeletons, including specimens of some familiar dinos. The Mesozoic era ran from 251 million years ago to about 66 million years ago, and was made up of 3 time periods: the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. Although dinosaurs first arrived in the Triassic times, the Dinosaur Hall here focuses on familiar inhabitants of the Jurassic and Cretaceous period. Since there aren't any Jurassic rocks exposed in Alberta, some of these dinosaurs, like this Camptosaurus here, is a cast of a specimen from Utah. These casts are exact replicas of the original fossils made from plastic, resin, fiberglass, or plaster. However, more than 3/4 of the fossils found in the Dino Hall are originals. Fossils found in Alberta are typically from the Cretaceous period, and Alberta has some of the greatest diversity of dino species found anywhere in the world. This includes horned dinosaurs known as the ceratopsians, which are known to have large bony frills extending from their necks, a variety of horns, and a parrot-like beak. Ceratopsians had the largest heads of any known species of land animal. One of the most famous ceratopsians is the Triceratops, and their skulls made up to 1/3 of their body. The word Triceratops is Greek for three-horned face, but this dinosaur only had 2 horns. The smaller, shorter horn on the end of its nose is actually made of keratin, the same stuff made out of your fingernails. The Centrosaurus is thought to evolve from the same ancestor as Triceratops, and has the same type of armor and same bone on its nose, but without the 2 prominent horns. And another ceratopsian relative is the Pachyrhinoceros, which I'm pretty convinced were the models outside of the museum there. But instead of having a large horn on the end of its nose and eyes, the Pachyrhinoceros had a strange lumpy nose. And I think this would be kind of an interesting claymation doll. Always a favorite with the kids is the T.rex skeleton. The T.rex could grow up to 12 meters long and 6 meters tall. One thing I kind of hate to point out is that Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton doesn't actually have gastralia. Most of these dinosaurs technically should. Sue has them, so come on, Royal Tyrrell, step up your game a little bit. One really cool dinosaur is the Stegosaurus, which has long plates on its back. Although the exact reason for these plates is unknown, scientists think the dinosaur could have used them for either warming or cooling or display features. The Dinosaur Hall has a stunning assortment of full-size skeletons, such as this Prosaurolophus, a type of hadrosaur dinosaur known as a duck-billed dinosaur, which lived in the late Cretaceous period 75 million years ago. I might also add, this thing is pretty big. You can see me in the corner there, but I'm honestly not sure which is bigger, this or the T-Rex. In another exhibit, you can explore creatures from the Bear Paw Sea, which was a warm, shallow sea that covered up to 1.7 million square kilometers during the Cretaceous period. The sea was home to a great variety of marine reptiles, animates, fishes, and other aquatic life, including an incredible plesiosaur which had a 7-meter-long neck and a body that stretched over 11 meters. After surviving an incredible 185 million years, the age of the dinosaurs finally ended, due to an asteroid impact in the Gulf of Mexico. There are some other theories out there that volcanoes may have been interrupting, well, the climate, and that could have caused their downfall as well, but the asteroid was kind of a sure thing. The Mesozoic Era ended and gave way to the Cenozoic Era, known as the Age of Mammals, which is the age we live in today.
With pigs fly.
Around 2 million years ago, the Earth began to cool, entering a great ice age. Sea levels began to rise and fall, and mountain ranges began to form, and the continents split apart into the positions they're in today. During that time, most of the northern hemisphere, including Canada and the northern USA, were completely covered in ice, which formed the perfect environment for animals such as the mastodon, mammoth, bison, saber-toothed cats, and various others. But at the end of the last ice age, about 10,000 years ago, these large mammals went extinct, leaving us with the environment that we know today. Speaking of which, I'm going to end this video on a little trail hike with some of my claymation dinosaurs. So I hope you enjoyed this video of this adventure of the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Alberta, Canada. It's a little bit different than what I normally do, and we'll be returning back to, well, normal claymation projects here in the, well, near future. And, well, I must admit this adventure was definitely a lot of fun, and I do plan on taking more trips to Alberta, Canada to do some more activities at the Royal Tyrrell Museum, and I'll probably do a few more dinosaur museum trips before the summer ends, at least I'm hoping so. At any rate, I will leave you to the glamour shots slash beauty shots of my dinosaurs in the wild, I guess. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the adventure, and be sure to subscribe if you're new, and be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below what you think, and let me know which one was your favorite dinosaur. At any rate, that's enough from me. Till next time, take it easy. Well, hello there again. I'm not actually here to give you the normal jargon of, well, self-promotion. I'm actually here to thank you for sticking around all the way to the very end of the video, so there's a bit of bonus footage for you of some paleo art that's also featured at the Royal Tyrrell Museum. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's like a lazy guy. I recognize that from books.